Hey guys, welcome to Velo Fan. First moto vlog of 2025. We are on the Easter bank holiday. Weather not too bad today, but as typical of Easter bank holiday, pretty shit, lots of rain. Apparently it's much needed. Apparently it's a very dry month. Where are we going today? So off to Moor Crichel. There's an avenue of beech trees which I've seen other people take photos of their bikes, cars, whatever down there, and I thought, you know, that looks beautiful. I mean, on a previous ride I've taken you down past Badbury Rings, and that avenue of trees there, I'm not sure if they're beech, they might be like poplar or plane, which is basically the same species tree. Not quite sure, they could be beech as well. And that I think is something to do with the Kingston Lacey estate. So yes, I've never ever been to this Moor Crichel, so I'm assuming that's how you pronounce it. I've got questions over whether it's actually a public road. It just looks, because I've tried to do a bit of Googling, researching, you know, before we get there, if you like, and yeah, it looks a little bit like a sort of private entrance, if you like. So yeah, if we go and end up sort of trespassing, well, that'll be part of the fun of the video. So yeah, I'm not quite sure, but hopefully it's public, vehicles are allowed. We're going to go through a little village called Horton. I've also ridden past this village before on previous rides. So what I'm hoping for is on the way out to Moor Crichel, you guys are going to get to see the tower at Horton. And then on the way back, I'm aiming to actually park up and walk you up to the tower and let you have a look at it close up, because it's actually a really nice sort of folly monument for you guys to come have a look at if you happen to be in the area. You can gain access. It's not, you haven't got to pay to get in there, and you can just walk up to it. It's in a field, so I guess it is probably private land, but I think there might be public right of way. Again, not entirely sure if I'm trespassing, but never been told off. Years and years and years ago as a child, I used to be able to go in there. I might have mentioned this on previous rides as well, but oh, she's ripping today, boys. Listen to her go. What I've done is I've slightly adjusted the mixer screw on the carb, and I've added a bit more of my race fuel, because yeah, anyway, we'll get into that at a later point. Anyway, so yeah, I used to be able to go inside this Horton Tower. Sadly, BT or someone, telecommunications, bought the tower. You can't get in there anymore, but we'll have a look from the outside anyhow. I was going to go from Moor Crichel to Badbury Rings, and again, instead of just driving past it, I was going to park up and we we're going to have a little bit of a walk up to the rings. But because I've never been here before, sometimes I do like a little reconnaissance ride on my modern bike, just so I know that the roads are flowing and I don't have any issues with having to stop at traffic lights and stuff. So I haven't done that for this ride, so like I said, I literally don't know where I'm going, might get lost. I'll cut that out if that happens of the video. So what I'm getting at is that I didn't really want to risk going from Moor Crichel to Badbury Rings, so I think I'll just come whatever way I find the avenue of beech trees, I'll come back up that same way. Okay, the tower is over to my left. I'm going to try and take you to after this ride, but whether you saw it properly or not, debatable. Oh, you might see a little bit better now. There you go, Horton Tower on my left. a rather beautiful little spot. Just come over a little river there. I might have to Google what that river is because I'm unsure. Fucking hell, that quite took me by surprise. That one not so much because I think there's another one up behind me as well. Oh yeah, definitely BMW because it's got it on the top boxes, isn't it? So this is a bit of a ball ache, this bit, because it's single car pass at a time. So I may well have to go in a minute because I don't want to sit here forever. Yeah, fuck this. Sorry BMW boys, a bit reckless there, but like I said, I can't be sat there idling like that for fucking ages. Oh, pretty good there, a bit. The old wall up against me, wasn't it? Right, now up here I'm turning to the left, I believe. Yeah, it's got Moor Crichel on the sign. Off we go. Right. Here we go then, boys. So this is the avenue. Fuck me. It is beautiful. I'm very impressed with this. I can possibly park my bike at the top of that hill back there. Knowing that I should be able to start it. Having a hill to aid me. But yeah, this is glorious. Whoever designed this, planted this, whatever, happy days. I mean, I suppose different times of year you get different foliage on these trees, which might impact the beauty element. Not quite sure. But yeah, that was that little part of the ride done. Fuck it out. A bit quicker than I expected, to be fair. But yeah, this is a beautiful little village as well. Look at this. This must be what is actually Moor Crichel. Just going to pump on up this hill and then we'll go back the other way, I think. Because like I said, I don't know where I'm going. Just got to keep an eye out for the old fucking BMW boys. Alright guys, back up the avenue. I did manage to stop. I did manage to restart, but obviously like I say, I was on a downhill. The reason this is an issue is, although this is the first vlog of 2025, I've taken this bike out for a couple of short rides to my local meet, and it's been really hard to start the bike on the return leg. On the way out it's taken me perhaps, sometimes I haven't been able to do it, and I've luckily had some young lads pull up in a car and go, oh, do you want to push? I was like, fuck it out, like, and then the young guy explained he'd actually got a BSA, I don't know, it was like an M or I don't know, whatever. So yeah, it's great to find a young guy that must be only about 20 years old and a few mates that just jumped out and gave me a push. Brilliant. But yeah, so and like even today, coming in today on this, yeah, it was like 3 goes and I had to use a hill to get it to go, so the 2 attempts on the flat just didn't happen. So yeah, I was a little bit concerned. Yeah, so like I said, I don't know really. I I have adjusted my air mixture screw on the carb. It's got one that adjusts the air rather than the fuel. And yeah, so I went for it. I thought, oh, I just adjusted that, give it a bit more fuel, so I've made it a bit richer. That's because yeah, I was like, I wonder if that's the problem. That was a bit naughty, obviously I should have given way. There is some stones on this corner every single time, so be aware of that if you're ever coming down here. Just here, look, so they tend to make it a bit risky. So yeah, I've adjusted the air mixer screw by literally probably 1 notch, perhaps 2. It's a little bit hard on it, the notches are a little bit worn away. So yeah, so I've adjusted that out a tad, and then I normally mix my fuel with my race fuel, which is 101 octane, no ethanol, with E5, to a sort of ratio of about, I guess I put 1 litre of race fuel to every maybe 4 litres of E5. And today I've whacked into the tank a whole like litre of the race fuel, just extra, just because I thought, well, potentially stale fuel over the layup of winter period, and I'd added this Briggs and Stratton, some sort of fuel light or safe or something, sight, I can't remember what the hell it's called, but anyway, something for, I guess, really like lawnmowers and stuff, to make their fuel not go stale. And I was worried that that potentially had caused me problems with regards to like low octane or something. Oh mate, but she is fucking ripping it. Second gear, 55 mile an hour, pretty much 60, up into third. Fucking get in there, son. So I think potentially my little tiny bit of carb tuning and the added race fuel has made a bit of a difference here, but I'm not quite sure, because I say it still took me like I say 3 attempts to get it to go. Right, so yeah, there was, like I say, it's a bit of an issue with the starting. I do believe that my clutch was slipping as well on the first few rides of the year, so I've made that for less slip, which of course makes it a little bit more of a bastard changing gear. Like, you know, it's that fine line between clunky gear changes where it's not fully disengaging and not slipping when you want a bumper, so there's a bit of a fucking fine line there. Anyway, so we've got her going, it ain't too bad. Right, we're off to the tower now. Like I said, I do want to show you guys this, because obviously it's a memory from my childhood, but also I do think it's cool for you guys to have a look at it closer up than what I can only give you on a ride. So I'm going to obviously stop, but I do know that actually I stop on a hill, so I'm again confident I'll be able to get this bad boy going. The only downside is, nice little church there, like biker. Yeah, some beautiful bits of the countryside around here. Dorset, I believe we're in. Good old Dorset. Right, we're going to be taking a left just up here. Might even be that one I just missed there, that's a gravelly track. Pretty cool design though. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Probably 6-sided, do you reckon? So central columny bit like a hexagon, and then 3 round towers abutting up to them. It's cool, I like it. Actually, you can see through that there's no roof on it. It's just open up there, isn't it? So we'll give it a once round, walk around, you'll be able to see the base of it. I'm probably not going to angle the camera up to the top. Just want you to be able to see the front door. It's very chalky, this soil around here. Oh, there you go, look. So, kind of a door with a more substantial lock on the go. Yeah, and there you have it, guys. I will try and angle the camera here at the gate, just give you a bit of a... There was the tower. I'm just going to head off to my local bike meet area now, I think. Kind of added security in case, like I said, this thing don't want to go again, but so far I've had hills every time to aid me and it's gone okay. Right, TT25, ferry's booked, paid in full now. I haven't done any preparation though, still haven't sorted out any kind of sat-nav system, so I'm still going with the basis that I'll be riding with others that can guide me, or I will just have paper written, well I'll probably have both, but I'll have paper written instructions on the fuel tank somehow, and I'll have my phone with me just in case. I might well buy a power bank thing for charging my phone, so I'm just that little bit extra paranoid that if the battery runs out somehow through using it for sat nav or whatever, I'm not going to make the ferry. But I haven't even tried to put my tent, sleeping bag, etc. into my rucksack, so that is a problem because like I said, it might not fit. I don't know how many clothes I can take with me, I don't know how cold I'm going to be, all of that, right? So that's that really for that. I mean, obviously, again, like I said before, if anyone's watching this that's been to the TT before and has got some nice little tips for me, yeah, speak up. Like I say, there's always the feature to leave comments on these videos on YouTube. Right, what else? So obviously, yeah, I mean, I've been working on the KNS a bit, which will be featuring on the other videos that I post that are to do with like in the garage. Been having an oil pressure problem, right? So you'll see in the videos what I've done. Obviously I've replaced the ball bearings that are in the valves. There's two different valves that I've worked on that had the wrong size bearings, and both of them, one was too big and one was too small. So they've both got the same size 1/4" ball now. They both got brand new springs on them, which is I think important as well. So yeah, but when I last took it for a ride, obviously I'm still working on my old plugs that have been cleaned a number of times. Yeah, I wanted to check out whether my changing of those ball bearings had sorted the problem. So with those plugs the answer is no, it hasn't sorted the problem, but I'm still optimistic that actually it's the plugs at the moment rather than the other stuff going on. But yeah, but one little job I'll be next doing on this bike, on the KTT, one next little job to do is, I have the original photos from Velocette of their promotion, I guess, of this bike, or one or two, I think one photo. It shows that the fuel lines have a steel braided outer, but they need to be crimped on. So I looked at this ages ago and I thought, oh, that'd be lovely, because at the moment I've just got normal black rubber. So yeah, I thought that'd be great to do. But what put me off is like trying to find the right size nipples and stuff like that, and you know, whatever. So again, like I said, it's thanks to doing these videos, and that's why I do still think they're probably worth doing, although I always have doubts. A chap that's on all the platforms really has made a connection with me, and yeah, get on really well with him, and somehow it came up in conversation, and I showed him these little elbows 90s that I found on eBay. I think he was doing a similar job or something. Yeah, and then obviously he said about where I can get the ferrules from, the bits that need to be crimped on. So that was cool, because I've now got an ordered like hose, ferrules, different angles. So that is good. I'm quite pleased about that. I'm hoping I've ordered the right quantity of straights and elbows and all the rest of it. And I bought the tool, the crimping tool, from Grove Classic actually, just because the ones I found on eBay, they only crimp with like a little round crimp. Fucking hell, come on guys, let this guy turn in. But yeah, but the Groves Classic one has got like 4 little squish areas incorporated, so that's good because I quite like that. So that will hopefully be a superior crimp. Thing is, right, like I say, I know the sound of the exhaust for this bike, right? It sounds weird, but that's how I know whether it's running right or whether it's running wrong, if you like. And it does, like I say, to me today, does sound good. Felt a little bit light on the front end there. I was going around that roundabout, a little bit twitchy, which is a bit fucking worrying. Because oh, that's another thing to add. So general maintenance of a bike like this, I've got to be honest with you, obviously I'm not fully on top of it. And so yeah, so obviously I just sort of like have a look at it every now and then. And what was I doing with the front wheel? I think I was tightening up the spokes because I had a spoke broke on the brake on the back of this bike, which is another thing to talk about, I guess. Not sure if I've been into this yet, but yeah, spoke was broken the other day, and I just was like, oh shit. And luckily a guy called Salisbury's Wheel Builders has helped me out and managed to make a spoke for me that's butted, which is how these spokes came from original. You can see the parts book says butted. Yeah, it says butted spoke for TTs, KTTs, not for obviously the other models, but yeah, so anyway, so he made a spoke that was replaced. But yeah, then I was like, oh okay, so if that broke, maybe maybe the front spokes were a bit loose as well, which they were, and in doing them up I pulled the front forks towards me, I guess just to check or whatever, and there was a huge amount of slop on my girders, and I was like, fuck, I wonder if I haven't, because obviously you're meant to adjust these little bits here, well I guess this side only, but yeah, you're meant to adjust them so you've got a certain amount of free play, and I was like, fuck, I wonder if they've like worn out a lot and I haven't really noticed. But no, it was actually my head race bearings, so that's weird because obviously they're just like a ball bearing in there, and I've like replaced them. I think when I got the bike, I think I would have done that. I mean, I might have trusted the previous owner, but I think I probably put the new balls in for the sake of it. And yeah, so that needed quite a bit of nipping up. So yeah, old bikes and maintenance, and it's just, it can catch you out. I think certain things have just come loose or whatever. I suffer from it quite a bit, just so I don't go over my bike every single ride, I guess. So anyway, yeah, so spokes, yeah, so spoke broke, new one is fitted. It's quite funny because the guy was like, oh yeah, no, they won't be butted from original, and I was like, yeah, they are, mate, but you know how these people operate, they just think, oh, that was such an old machine or whatever. But yeah, 1934, they had butted spokes, got to, otherwise like I said, they wouldn't have been able to put it in the parts book, would they? So that's pretty cool. But yeah, keep on top of your spoke tension. I bought some spoke tools now, little spanners. They are not that expensive. I've got about 4 or 5 of them, and in the end I bought a multiple ended one where you just change the ends. which originally I didn't want to buy because I'm not a big fan of screw on screw off type fucking things. They come a bit loose or whatever, but I found that the particular size that these are, I was struggling to find the tool that was standard off the shelf, the right size. They go on either a number or obviously a size in millimeters. But so anyway, this one with the multiple ends, that's got one that fits quite nicely. Yeah. Okay, moving on to classic motorcycles, the price of them in today's market. Fucked, isn't it? I mean, yeah, obviously it's really bad for people like me because I've come into the classic bikes a much later stage. So I've come into them when I bought this in the peak in 2020. So yeah, so the rapid decrease in value is pretty bad for me. For someone that's perhaps owned one of these for the last 30-40 years, I mean obviously it's a little bit of a fucker, but at the same time it was obviously just ramping pretty much year on year, so it won't be as much of an issue because you've probably got a big buffer zone there from what you would have paid for it 20 odd years ago, you know. So that's one thing to talk about. Please engage, please find worthwhile comment, you know, on that subject, because you either perhaps own a classic bike that you purchased more recently and paid through the nose, or you perhaps have owned one for donkey's ears and the decreasing value isn't so much of an issue for you or whatever. It depends on your opinion on it, obviously. So yeah, have some thoughts on that, please. So that's one thing to do with classic bikes. Now the other thing is, are you guys single mark guys? You just own a Velocette perhaps? Or you're a multiple mark guy like myself? I have like 4 bikes, all different marks. Yeah, be interested to know what your thoughts are on that. Whether, like I say, whether you like to have just the one mark or not. Right, and then moving on from that, so obviously, because like I said, I like to have a variety of different eras and bikes and whatever. So Bonham's Stafford sale this year, you know, Bonham's gets me excited every fucking sale, like the spring one and the autumn one. They're generally always at Stafford, I think. They always get me excited because they always find, or have given to them, awesome bloody bikes to auction. So current one of excitement for me is really a matchless G45. It's in incredible condition. Estimate I think was 25 to 28,000, which I think is fair. However, I'd like to hope that it goes for less than that in this current climate of what I was saying about earlier, the prices of classic bikes. And if that, because obviously it might make it affordable to myself, but it's unlikely. I'm a long way away from being able to afford that price. So even if I came down a smidge thinking, oh, I might go a little bit less, for me this time round, not likely. But yeah, I do want a G45 or a G50. So another bike there, G50. I've seen one for sale on eBay. I'm very tempted. The price seems very reasonable to me. It's up for 15,500. So it's in what they're describing as a Sealy frame, and they're describing it as a Rutter 600cc G50 engine. But there is a slight little, in small print above where he states, oh, this is my Rutter G50, he says, oh, possibly, like something like possibly is a Rutter G50. So I would say there's absolutely no provenance to back this up. I guess the thing is, it's the sort of bike that Rutter would have rode, and to the fact that it's been tuned out to a 600, I mean there's a lot pointing that it probably was something he has ridden, perhaps not owned. I mean I don't know how he operates, but he's obviously sponsored, I'm sure. Anyway, so yeah, but it's this frame that's the bit that's slightly bothering me. The frame is from 2010, and although it's called a Sealy frame, it does state it's made by Keith Stevenson, I think it was. So obviously not an actual original Sealy, because the Sealys were around sort of back in the day, which would have made this bike a lot more appealing to me, because I could have then registered it as a classic that's tax and MOT exempt. So my concern is with a 2010 frame, I'm pretty sure they give you a V5 based on the age of the frame, not the engine. So the engines get changed, the frame's what's the backbone, if you like. So if that's the case, then like I said, my concern is I've got to then MOT it every single year, and it has to be able to meet, I guess, modern MOT standards, which I think would be a real pain in the arse. So tempted, because I think the price is right. However, I guess it's a replica, even though I think the engine is original G50, not a modern replica engine. So I'm not actually even 100% sure on that. If it was 100% replica and everything was brand new, I wouldn't be interested at all. But I think there's only perhaps the frame is the modern bit, really. So yeah, what's your guys' views on, obviously, like I say, like I guess these replica bikes you can find sort of, they look exactly like a classic. Look, this is the type that I want, which is obviously rare as hell. So, you know, like I said, perhaps, like I say, I think perhaps it's an okay thing, as in, you know, I'm very purist, really. I like my things to be not fucked about with. But I think perhaps there is an element of, if you can't achieve the original because it's either too rare or too expensive, I suppose they're the same thing in a way, do you compromise and get the replica? You know, that's the, I guess, the question here for you guys.